Yes. Let us see the another undesirable characteristics of instrument is hysteresis of instrument. Then what do you mean by hysteresis of instrument means? When the particular instrument is having the hysteresis characteristics means, if any instrument gives the different outputs during loading or unloading, that means during loading it gives one characteristics, during unloading it gives the another characteristics, then we can say that that instrument is having the hysteresis characteristics. That means, for example, let us consider a 0 to 20 volts voltmeter. For this voltmeter, we are giving the inputs like this in increasing order. In increasing order, we are giving the inputs like this. That this is input we are giving, and we are getting the output like this. If this instrument is having hysteresis characteristics, let us consider it is the loading. Loading is nothing but in increasing order we are applying the input voltage. In increasing order we are applying the voltages. Let us consider this instrument gives for 0 volts input, output is 0. For 5 volts input, it gives the output of 4 volts. For 10 volts input, it gives the output of 9 volts. For 15 volts input, it gives the output of 14 volts. For 20 volts input, it gives the output of 19 volts. For example, let us assume that 19 volts it is giving. This is for in increasing order. In increasing order. By using same voltmeter, we can done the experiment in decreasing order. If you done the experiment in decreasing order means, let us assume that initially we are giving this is input and this is the output. In decreasing order, we are doing the experiment. For input, we are giving the 20 volts input, but output we are getting 19.5 volts. Okay. For 15 volts input, we are getting the output is 14.4 volts. For 10 volts input, we are getting the output is 9.5 volts. For 5 volts input, we are getting the output is 4.5 volts. For 0 volts input, we are getting the output is 0 volts. This we are doing in decreasing order. That's why if any instrument gives the different readings in increasing order and decreasing order, then that instrument is having the hysteresis characteristics. That's why generally we can define like this. The instrument which gives the different outputs in loading and unloading, then we can say that that instrument is having the hysteresis characteristics. If the instrument gives the different readings or different outputs in loading and unloading, different outputs in loading and unloading, then that instrument is having which characteristics? Hysteresis characteristics. That means in the case of if any instrument is having the hysteresis characteristics, the loading and unloading curve is not coincidence. That is, if any instrument is having hysteresis characteristics, loading and unloading curve, is not coincidence. Curve is not coincidence. That means if you draw the input and output characteristics during loading and unloading, this is output and this is input. Then when that instrument is having hysteresis characteristics means we can get the characteristics like this. Let this is the loading curve and this is the unloading curve. Then we can say that this instrument is having hysteresis characteristics. This instrument is having hysteresis characteristics. That this is the output is this Q maxima is the output, and this is the Q minima, minimum output, and this is the hysteresis. This is the hysteresis of a instrument. This also undesirable characteristics of instrument. Is also one of the undesirable characteristics of a instrument. Practically, we don't expect these characteristics of a instruments. These characteristics may exist even mechanical system, or it is also exist in electrical system. For both the systems, it is possible. The main reason for hysteresis means in the case of electromagnetic instrument means because of stored magnetic field. In the case of electrical system, in the case of mechanical systems means stressed systems, means suddenly it will not respond. During unloading, suddenly it will not respond. That's why we are getting the hysteresis characteristics of a instrument. Okay, this is about one of the hysteresis characteristics, that is the undesirable characteristics of a instrument. Then in the undesirable characteristics, the last one is what you mean by drift of a instrument.